y'all, it's Michal. Welcome to Friday Flow. We'll keep it short and sweet today. If you've got access to ankle weights, that'll be a really nice way to level up the challenge. I'd recommend about 1 or 2 pounds. If you're going any higher, know that I'd probably recommend you have used them before. We'll get started with those on. If you are using them, no other tools necessary. So throw your ankle weights on and meet me on your back. Plant your feet as wide as your mat or just wider than hips width, knees together. Hands somewhere grounding. Fix your gaze towards the ceiling or close your eyes. Notice the beat of your heart. Notice the flutter of your breath. Start to shift your mind from listening to thoughts and words to listening to sensation, following breath. Making a shift mentally in attuning towards the language of the body rather than the language of the mind. Toe heel your feet to hips width. Kick one leg at a time up towards the ceiling. If you've got ankle weights on, it might feel really grounding in the pelvis. Flex your toes towards you and point your toes up towards the ceiling. Spin your ankles in a big circle. And go the other direction. It's always really interesting for me to notice the places where it's really easy to circle, which foot feels more mobile than the other, and kind of the quality of the textures and the quality of the sensations as you're circling. I can feel things like slipping over each other in some instances. Go the other direction again. I feel really sore muscles in my feet as I keep going. Good. Hug your knees in towards you. Give your ankles a moment to rest. You can rock a little side to side. Big twist. Knees to the left, gaze to the right. Switch to the other side. Kick the legs back through the center. Plant either your left foot down onto the mat, flat to the floor, hands down into a small V to frame your hips, or if you want to take it into a slightly more hamstring opening position, you'll extend your left leg straight. Point your right toes and squeeze the leg fully straight. So before we go anywhere, keep that. Take a breath in. Then as you exhale, press your low back into the mat and try not to lose that connection. Take a circle with your right leg as big as you can without losing the connection to your low back grounding. And if it feels really hard with the left leg straight, you just step the foot flat to the floor and prioritize keeping the core grounded as you circle the leg around. Spin your leg the other way. Take your right ankle, cross it over your left thigh, and hug your legs in for figure 4. Release, plant your right foot down, kick your left leg up, point the toes, squeeze the legs straight. Big belly, inhale. Exhale, knit the ribs in, ground the low back. Keep that sensation and start to circle your leg around. Keep squeezing the legs straight and pulling the core down. And for right now, let those be the priority over the biggest circle that you can create. Go the other direction. Really good. Take the left ankle, cross it over top the right thigh. Give it a nice hug in towards you. Release the figure four. Swing yourself up into a seat. We'll keep the legs long out in front of you. Soft bend in the knees so you can catch the backs of the thighs. Lift your spine up. Hug your shoulder blades towards each other. Small bend in the elbows and drag your elbows towards the sides of your ribs. Lift your heart up. Let your head drop back. And then round your spine. Roll to the back of your sit bones. Let your forehead drop towards your mid-thigh. Inhale, arch. Exhale and round. 2 more. Really nice. Cross your shins, come over your crossed shins, find hands and knees, tabletop. Big circles, shoulders over top your wrists. And then spin those the other way. Take your hands in 1 or 2 handprints so that they're pretty close to your knees. Tuck your tail slightly, enough that you can feel your low belly pull in and you flatten out your low back. Push the floor away so that there's some spreading of the shoulder blades on your back. Try to keep that. Your shoulders will come just forward enough that you really feel the front part of your palm get heavy. Now try to lift the heels of the hands. You could do one and then the other, or you could try both at the same time. So we're taking wrist push-ups here. Lift the heels of the hands and then lower them down. Another 5, slow lift, slow lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really nice. Walk your hands out, find a plank, kick your legs straight, take a breath in, take a breath out. Take 1 more like that. Inhale, then exhale your hips high and find a dog. Take a few moments to bend one knee and lengthen the opposite heel down. Little petals, like you're taking your down dog for a little stroll on the mat. You might nod and shake your head a couple times. Look from side to side as you pedal. As you bend one knee, you look the opposite direction of that bent leg. Good. Come forward into a plank. You'll drop your left knee down towards the mat, kickstand your left heel behind you, drop your right heel, peel your right arm high, paint it all the way up and over. Big stretch here. Really nice. You're gonna come up into a gates pose, right fingertips up towards the ceiling, bounce off of your bottom hand, and side bend all the way to the back. Straightening the right leg and side bending over it. Really nice. Sweep the hands down to the mat. Find a downward facing dog. Press your hips high. Eventually your right leg will lift. You'll point the toes, squeeze the legs straight, pull the belly in, and find a circle through the leg, as small or as big as you'd like. I'd like you to just find the sensation of stability. So you're not rocking your shoulders from side to side. You're trying to really stay stable and rooted through the left leg. Go the other way. So we're trying to orient the movement into the right leg. Really nice. Step your right foot wide outside of your right hand. Take your right hand to your thigh. Give it a nice little push. Take a breath there. Hands on the inside of the foot. Release the back knee and straighten your front leg any amount. Walk your hands in for a little bit of support. Take a soft bend in your front knee. And then think arch the spine like we just did in those seated cat-cows. Think belly to thigh, heart forward, inhale. And then you'll soften the torso down and maybe soften the back of the leg a little bit more. Really good. Shift back forward, bend the front knee. Lift the back knee and step wide into a primal squat. Drop the hips. You might bring your elbows into your thighs. If you can't quite get low, it's totally cool. I'd like you to try to ground your heels. So Rather than coming really low and lifting your heels, stay up a little bit and ground your heels. That way we're directing the pressure into the ankles a little bit more. And sometimes like pressure is good, right? Pressure also means movement. So if we direct the pressure into the ankles, we increase our ankle mobility. And that's what I want to focus on right now. Good. Root through your heels, rise up to stand, parallel your feet, take an inhale. And then exhale, dive into a fold, release it all the way down. You can rock your head slightly side to side. Really good. Feet about hips width distance, and just step the right leg back. Release that knee down to the ground, and then hands onto the front thigh. Take a breath in here, take a breath out here. One more. Really nice. Release your hands down. You're gonna find a modified side plank. So I'll tuck my back toes and scoot my back knee in a couple inches and slide my left leg all the way back, kickstanding the right shin back behind me. So now I've got my left leg lifted up into the air. I'm gonna take my left foot, tap it down to the mat, and then lift it back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release the leg down, find a plank. 2 legs reach back and lower onto your belly. Lift up into a cobra. You might slide your hands out a little bit wider. Lengthen and lower down to the mat. We'll take a couple spinal waves. You might tent your fingertips, lift your elbows up to the ceiling, chin to your chest, round up, open at the top, arch and lower. 2 more. Slide the hands in, find a child's pose, take 2 big breaths. Shift back forward to hands and knees, tabletop, drop the belly, lift the gaze, inhale, exhale, round the spine. Find your way to downward facing dog, press the hips high. On your inhale, come forward to a plank. Tap your right knee down to the mat, kickstand your right heel back behind you, peel the left arm up. Keep the left foot grounded. Paint the top arm all the way overhead, big stretch. Inhale and exhale. Left fingertips up to the ceiling, bounce off of the bottom hand and side bend all the way up and over. Cartwheel your hands towards the top of the mat, step back to a dog. Kick your left leg high, point the toes, squeeze the legs straight. Take circles through your left leg. Down, out to the side, up to the ceiling, and then cross it behind your right leg. Sweep it low, sweep it wide, sweep it up. Shove your palms down. Switch the other direction. Step your left foot wide, outside of your left hand to your left thigh. Look over the shoulder, let the hips sink. Really nice. Left hand to the ground, step wide with your right foot, primal squat. One more breath here. Rise up to stand, sweep your arms up. Release your hands to your low back. Press your palms into your low back, hug your elbows together, take a little lift in your chest. Really nice. Parallel your feet underneath you and dive into a fold, release down. Bring your feet hips width distance, lengthen and inhale. Fold and exhale. Step just your left leg back. Drop your back knee down and interlace your hands onto your front thigh. Couple breaths. Release your hands down to the mat. Scoot your back knee in a couple inches so that the knee is directly underneath the hip. And sweep your right leg back behind you. Kickstand your left heel back behind you, left foot rather, and find that modified side plank. So your right leg's extended and lifted, and you'll tap your right foot down to the mat and lift it up and away. Tap the foot down, lift it up, keep the foot flexed as you drop and lift. Here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the top arm down, find your way into a downward facing dog. Press the hips high up and back behind you, take a little pedal. Really nice, tap your knees down to the mat. Take a seat onto your heels, take your hands into your lap, and either close your eyes or just shift your gaze downward towards the floor. Level off your chin with the ground and find a tall spine. Take a breath in, and a long, smooth breath out. Sweep your arms up, interlace your hands at the top, bring them to the back of your skull. With an inhale, you'll spin to the right. Exhale, spin to the left. Inhale right, exhale left. And you might start to add speed in and out, jabbing your elbows back and twisting the air out and into your lungs. I'll give a little less direction as you continue to spin yourself around, in and out. Maybe through the nose. We're not here too long, so really work with it. Give yourself a moment to alchemize this. Here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale, sweep your arms up. Take 3 sips of breath at the top. Hold the air in. Release. Breath in. Breath out. Feel that little buzz and just maybe notice what else is there. When you're ready, hands to the top of your mat, feet to the back. We'll find half pigeon. Bring the right shin forward towards the top of the mat. So your knees behind your right wrist. Pedal through your back foot. So keep the toes tucked, pedal the heel back. And then fold down. Elbows can come to the ground or your forehead. We're not here too long, so really deepen the breath. Know that you can always pause this video and linger longer if you'd like. Walk your hands in, sit onto your right hip and swing your left leg around to the top of your mat for a seated half straddle. Bend to the inside of your left leg, so left hand to the ground, right arm up. I like to take the right hand to the back of my head and really cup the bottom of my skull, like you would hold the bottom of a baby's head, and let your head rest back into the palm. Root through your right hip, root through your right thigh. Good, come all the way up, cross your 2 shins, you can make your way back to a down dog. Swing your left leg through for half pigeon. Tap your back knee down, release the top of the foot. And then start to fold yourself forward and down. Walk your hands in, sit into your left hip, swing your right leg around. You can scoot your left heel a little bit closer to your pelvis and side bend to the inside of your right leg. The left hand might find the back of your head if you did that on the other side. Rise back up through to the center. Find a butterfly. Soles of the feet come together to touch. Knees wide, fold forward. Find a tall seat, cross one ankle in front of the other. Let your hands rest down in your lap. Find some kind of privacy, whether it's shifting gaze downward or closing the eyes. Notice what just a few minutes of moving your body shifts. I think a lot of what we do in this work is just witnessing. Witnessing what movement brings up, what it eases, what it uncovers. And it's not good or bad, it's not better or worse necessarily always. But it is a practice that we return to so that we are aware of what is present with us. More than trying to feel good, it's being aware of what is. Thanks for moving with me today, y'all. If you enjoyed today's practice, anything that you do to interact with this video is really supportive to creators like me. You can give it a like, you can subscribe to this channel, you can leave a comment if you'd like to interact with me or connect with me in a more regular space. You can follow Movement Habit on Instagram. That's movement spelled without any vowels, habit, on Instagram. Let me know what else you'd like to see here. You can always pop over to the membership portal if you'd like to interact with my work and support it in a monetary way. And for now, I'll get going and I'll see you next week. Have a good one, y'all.